Uh, Welcome, everyone. Welcome to the second week of the Puglia box. We're facing this guy, the Rosé, 2024 Pietraventosa EstRosa Murgia Rosato, or Cerasuolo is basically what this is. This part of the Italy, actually, I'll get into it once we get there, but a few announcements. These emails went out earlier today, but Boji Box 2026 is coming. So the sign-up email went out today. So if you're interested, shoot me an email and let me know so I can get an idea of who's in, who's not, how many people, and all of that. Most likely, we'll probably get started in February. Apologize about the delay this year. No excuses. I just got behind the eight ball with some going to the Philippines and different stuff. I know, rough life that I have. I just could not get it all done in time. So we're gonna push it back a month back than usual. Usually we start in January, but yeah, so we'll most likely start in February unless there's a chance that some of these containers that we're waiting for may arrive early. So if that happens, then I'll get those out as soon as possible. We'll get started in January, but chances are most likely we'll start in February. But either way, let me know if you're interested so I can get that all started. Also, this is last call for three things. One is Case Club. So all the sparkling wines that we tasted last month. So if you want to participate, get any of those, get your orders in now. And then I also sent out an email, but there's a fall release allocation that we just got of Radicon and Anthill Farms. So if you want to, and if you looked at the email, you probably noticed the prices are not funny anymore. Like these things are getting so expensive, but nonetheless, they're available.
I noticed that. I was like, was it always this much? But yeah.
No, it's just getting ridiculous. Just everything's getting ridiculous. The Vosges is getting ridiculous. Anthill Farms getting ridiculous. Radicon's getting ridiculous. Everything's getting ridiculous. Champagne is fucking crazy. Anyways, so we do have a Radicon and Anthill Farms allocation out. Those I all have to turn it in tomorrow, so I know that's a very short turnaround. Essentially, I sent it out yesterday, so it's 2-day turnaround, but that's always how it goes with these allocations. So if you're participating, please get those orders in ASAP. Besides that, I don't really have any other. I said this at the beginning of the month, but next week, the Wednesday falls on Christmas Eve. So we're not going to have a tasting. It's going to be a recording. I don't think we need to have a tasting on Christmas Eve. I don't know. Maybe we do. But I figure we'll just do a recording. So you get a recording on Christmas Eve. And then the week after is the 5th Wednesday of December. So we're obviously going to skip that. But that also happens to fall on New Year's Eve. And then we'll pick back up in January on the 7th. And most likely, it will definitely be a recording. So the first tasting of January will be a recording again because I'm going to be in Chile riding my bike. So that will go out as a recording. But yeah, just a heads up. Any questions about any of that before we get into the wine itself? Cool. All right, in case you're just joining us now, we're tasting the Rosé in the box, 2024 Pietraventosa EstRosa Murgia Cerasuolo, or Rosato. So we're tasting today. Let's start with a map. Boop, boop. Here's a map of Italy. Should look pretty familiar. Where we are this month is a heel of the boot. So in the southern Italy, right here. This region is where we are. Basilicata is to the left or to the west. Campania is very close. That's why you see some Aglianico grown in here in Puglia as well. Molise going up, and Abruzzo. So I was just saying earlier that this is a kind of a Cerasuolo style of rosé. And what that means is, especially in southern part of Italy, all the way from Abruzzo, Molise, Puglia, even Campania, they all make this style of rosé that is much darker. So a lot more extracted, heavier in color. It's almost, we had a bottle of Cerasuolo I don't know what box that was. It's one of the boxes. I think it was a Campania box actually, if I remember correctly. But it's essentially one of those things that really, blurs the line between when does rosé stop and when does a red wine begin. It's that kind of style of a rosé, and this is that. This is that kind of Chiarosolo style. It's really, you can think of it as almost like a light-bodied, a light touch, lightly extracted red wine, or you can think of it as really heavy rosé. But either way, again, now you've been around 6 foot wine for long enough that there's really no like definitive line between rosé and a red, right? It all depends on the maceration time. It all depends on what the winemaker decides to call it. But yeah, so this is kind of like in the middle between rosé and what we think of as a red wine. It's that kind of style of rosé. Anyway, so we're in Puglia right here. We talked a lot about, as you can imagine, southern Italy. So a lot of sun. This is, Adriatic Sea on the left, Ionian Sea on the south, surrounded on 3 sides by the ocean. So a lot of moderating influence. It's quite hot here. A lot of sun, warm summertime, but these kind of oceans is what really gives it kind of a moderating influence, what makes viticulture possible here. Mentioned that this is a very fertile place. A lot of agriculture for Italy takes place here. Something like half of all of Italy's olive oil is made right here in Puglia. So we're talking about a place that really is not just known for, in fact, more so than viticulture, they're really more known for their almonds and figs and olive oil, all the amazing Mediterranean products that we think of. They are all pretty much all grown here because of their very fertile soil, and it's good. And for that reason, for the longest time, Puglia has always been a bit of a mass production kind of a territory, but it's really, and they never had a DOC or DOCG until 2011, but just in the last 10 years or so, they're really starting to turn the corner and to focus on quality. And there's a bit of this kind of a resurrection or focus on all the quality and all this small producer that are really making wines with sense of place of really wanting to highlight each different regions and different vineyards it comes from. So like these are, if you look at Puglia closer, these are kind of the sub-regions, winemaking regions within Puglia. And where we are today is Gioia di Col. This whole area in the middle is kind of, it's called Murgia, M-U-R-G-I-A region. So this wine is actually a IGT, which is a level just below DOC. So IGT Murgia is this wine, but the vineyards are essentially in where this is at the Gioia di Col. Let's talk about who makes this wine. Oh, and then this is also where we were last week, right? So in general, Puglia, when we're talking about Puglia, we're talking about red wine territory. Deep, dark, Primitivo, Negro Amaro, Aglianico, very big, inky, high octane, high alcohol, big wines, right? I mean, think like California, right? Warm, Mediterranean, all that, endless supply of sunlight, UV rays, helps develop sugar and flavor. So these are very juicy, big, flavorful wines that you get. And part of the reason why Puglia is very easy wine to get people into, because it's kind of a bit of a crowd pleaser because it's just got so much fruit and so much of juiciness and fruitiness and all of that. But in the middle right here, there's a bit of a plateau, like a high elevation plateau that runs through the middle of Puglia, especially right around Gioia del Colle. So all the white wine, rosés, or early picking reds, all these things are basically centered around here. And everywhere else, you're talking about Primitivo, Negro, really big, dark, inky wines. So this is where we are. Just like last week, our white wine was in this area. And then this year, we're again in this area for this Rosato or Chiarosolo. Let's talk about who makes this wine. Yep. Sorry. So this is a husband and wife team. Pietraventosa is a husband and wife team between Rafael, which is a dude on the left, and Mariana, which is a lady on the right. Certified organic winery, founded in 2005. So they've been making wine for about 20 years, 2 decades. And then really we're talking about winery that's dedicated to the Primitivo ground on limestone plateau in Gioia del Colle. So we're talking about not just on the Primitivo, they like I said, there are these smaller producers that are really starting to focus on the sense of terroir, right? Like the sense of place. And this is exactly that. Like, they want to focus on Primitivo, but particularly Primitivo grown right here in Gioia del Colle, which is a little bit higher elevation with a ton of limestone. I'm going to show you pictures a little bit later, but you'll see how much limestone is present. And despite, and we're going to talk about this when we're tasting this, despite so much juiciness, so much fruitiness that's in this wine, there's this searing mineral backbone that runs through this wine. And then you will see why that happens here. Makes wine with a sense of place with a strong minerality character, tension, freshness due to high limestone content, reflect the rugged terrain of the Murgia region. They have farmed chemical-free since the inception, and all their wines are made from estate fruit. So they do not buy any fruit, they grow all their fruit. They both have a working background in the wine industry. Their family made wine or grew grapes at least. But they worked mostly on the farming side of it. They never really made wine. But after graduating college, Raphael worked as a designer for a winemaking equipment production company. And that's why he became familiar with winemaking, met some other winemakers around Italy, all over Italy. And then amongst those winemakers, there's one particular winemaker named Oronzo Allo that he befriended and fast became best friends. And then he asked Oronzo to join them as a winemaker. So even though they did hire a winemaker, actually enologist, to help them with making the wine, but they pretty much oversee the farming and as well as a lot of input into actual winemaking itself as well. Rafael Mariana, they're both from Gioia del Colle, so this is their homeland, with a love for their homeland, passion for their wine, and desire determination to rediscover the noble Primitivo of Gioia del Colle. They planted their first 5-hectare vineyards from 2003 to 2006. And then they also took over a small vineyard of about 50 years old. So a very small production. We're talking about 5 hectares, very, very, very small producer. At first, they just only sold grapes. They grew grapes and then just sold them. But starting in 2005, they made their first bottling. And then that's when essentially Pietraventosa was born. By the way, the name Pietraventosa literally means wind stone in Italian. And then what that refers to is that limestone content that I was telling you about. And also it being on that plateau, there's a wind that flows through, northerly wind that flows through the plateau that keeps the vines and then the bunches, berry bunches dry during the growing season. So they don't necessarily have to treat it with the fungicide and all of that. The soil here is exactly what makes this unique. By the way, this is a winery. Some pictures that I could find. This is actually cellar. Take a note on this wall. This is essentially the bedrock, the soil type of this region. This was dug under their house, that structure that you saw earlier. But here is essentially what this looks like. So this right here, actually, let me see if I can show you this first. So you see this limestone? This is all limestone that is in the bedrock of the place. This up here, this is about, she said is anywhere between 5 centimeters to 30 centimeters of the red soil that is very rich in iron. That's why it looks kind of red. But the rest of it is essentially rock. So these grapevines are essentially growing through this bedrock. We've talked about grapes, the vines that struggle and do not have enough kind of nutrients to kind of grow on these bedrocks is really good for wine. And this is exactly what that is. I mean, imagine there's no organic matter in this. It's just a stone. And then these are what the vines have to go through. So yeah, you just dig right underneath. These are the vines. This is actual vineyards. Their vineyard. And then you just look under and then you start hitting into the actual limestone, like that chalky limestone. So imagine what kind of effect that would have on the wine itself. And to talk about all of that, hold on for a second. I have a video that I wanted to share with you all. Okay, so this is the owner, Mariana herself, talking about the soil type and what makes this place unique. This is actually my wine rep who was there, the importer, on their import wine trip, and I took this video last year, earlier this year, actually.
This stone is made by carbonate, and inside you see is very light for the color, but on the external surface we find a red part that is due to the presence of iron minerals that let it be red. And we have this kind of limestone rock in our vineyard in different parts because we are on the cross of two different era of the third period in the past. One is called Calcare di Altamura, and the other one, Calcareniti di Gravina. Calcare di Altamura is more older, and so we have about 30 centimeters of red soil on top and underground, very close limestone rock. Calcareniti di Gravina is a little bit younger, and so all the stones go on surface, and so we don't have soil, we have only rock, as you can see there. Only rock. This helps us a lot because this kind of soil is white, and during the summer the sun is not absorbed but this kind of stone, and so the plants thanks to this kind of soil of stone are refreshed, are not hot, and they grow up very easily without problem. The fact that we have so a great part of stones help us also during the rainy days, because this kind of soil drain very quickly all the water that comes from the sky, and the roots have no problem of mold, of sending water. Our vineyard help himself for life. Our vineyard doesn't need of any kind of chemical addiction to grow up. It grow up himself due to the thanks to the kind of soil, but the quantity produced is not so high. The quantity produced is very few quantity because of this kind of soil.
She's so cute. Anyways, yeah, apparently after that video was taken, I guess she was like all embarrassed. She's like, oh my God, my English is so bad. Like, did I do okay? And it's like, no, you're perfectly fine. But yeah, so you guys heard that from directly from the winemaker herself, you know, the influence and the role that's kind of a very limestone rich soil has, not only in terms of the mineral quality, but also in terms of the yield control, natural yield control, the heat reflection or preventing heat this time, not retaining heat, as well as a drainage. So all these things go into essentially making this a ideal place to grow Primitivo in a very different cell than the rest of Puglia, where it's hotter. It doesn't have as much limestone content. All right, so what is this wine? This is a Primitivo and Aglianico. I could not find the exact blending percentage. I do know that it changes vintage to vintage, but I could not verify or confirm what the exact blending percentage on this thing was. I'm willing to bet most of it's Primitivo, it's a majority Primitivo, but don't quote me on it. Again, all grown on that limestone plateau with iron-rich topsoil that you just saw in that video. 4 hours skin maceration, followed by soft and pneumatic press, and then the 40-day fermentation in stainless steel is what we have here. So, and all of that is temperature controlled, which tells you that what they're trying to do is retain all the elegant aromas and flavors, and trying to really keep it as pure as possible, nothing else. And that's what we got here. Any questions about what you saw, the wine, the vineyard, the winemaker, any of that before we get into tasting? Cool. Let's taste the wine. Who wants to take? I mean, given there are 4 people, you guys can each take a section at this point. I'll let you guys decide who goes first. It's going to come back to you, so you might as well pick which one you want to do.
I can do the appearance soon. You hear me?
Yeah, I got you.
It is definitely clear.
The wine is clear.
Call this medium intensity.
Yeah, this is a bit of a color. Right?
For rosé.
Yeah.
I would call this like salmon to like with a bit more like ruby into it than you usually see in a rosé.
Totally, exactly. And this is exactly what I was talking about, that like charsoul thing. It's like, is this rosé? Is this light red? I'm seeing a lot of ruby in this wine. So it's like, do we call this pale ruby? Charsoul gets really difficult in terms of like calling out intensity and color, all of that. It's like for rosés, is it pink or is it like a red with a pale ruby? But yeah, I do see a little bit of like an orangey kind of salmony, kind of a coppery tone to it as well. So it's like a ruby with a little copper tone. Whether you call this pale or medium, it really depends on whether you see this as a red wine, or you see this as rosé. But again, these are the things that gets really difficult with the charsoul. Any other observations?
What is pétillance? I don't think we ever talked about that.
Pétillance is just bubbles. It's just like
okay.
I mean, it says bubbles here, but it's pétillance is just French for bubbles. Sparkling.
I see. Okay.
Oh, any other observations?
No, like it's so when it's this clear, do you think they're all organic, but did they find it, do you think?
I could not find that information either, but I doubt that they actually find it. They may put it through some filtering. It's just that like oftentimes the people who go the length of doing it organically like this, it will rather rarely find it. The finding is very much of like a modern wine industry practice. These kind of old school guys really don't do it that way. But again, don't quote me on it. It just may be all that fermentation, letting it settle. That they may just rack off the clear. All right, you get to pick the next person for the notes.
Any volunteers? If not, let's go with Kirsten. You there?
Hello? Hello? Kirsten? Just hiding.
Sorry,
I'll
I'm gonna put
get
the.
it.
Oh, Catherine's here, so we're
Aha.
we were
Hello.
just discussing Beaujolais actually.
We were
Well.
strategizing on Bosch.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, what are we on? We're on the nose.
We're on the nose.
Okay. It's clean.
This one is clean. This one's sound.
It's pretty intense.
Yeah, I got
I would say medium plus.
Yeah,
Agree.
I'm not getting it here, which is
Maybe even.
Yeah.
inches off. Yeah, I'm gonna call this medium plus myself. Medium
Out there.
plus aromas. Ooh. Pretty good.
Oh boy. That lasted a while.
I do get. I'm terrible at identifying the florals. I definitely get some floral, but I don't know what it is.
Yeah,
A little
there's
rose,
Maybe more on the like rose end.
yeah, I agree. I mean, it may be because this
Violet?
is a rosé, that when we're going to rose.
Yeah.
But like I do get a little like blossomy, some like floral, pretty floral kind of a thing. It's not hugely floral, but definitely there's a little bit of that premium there for sure. So we'll call it rose, blossom, somewhere along that route. You got any
Violet?
green?
A little violet, maybe?
They're violet, okay. Yeah, which
don't
is
know.
not totally uncommon for Primitivo. Like if it was a red, like a much more extracted Primitivo, violet on that thing. So yeah, I mean, it's possible that, even at a lightly extracted Primitivo, you may be getting more violet. Yeah, there's definitely a little bit of like a floral vibe. Not hugely floral, but I'm definitely getting some. Any green fruit?
I get some apple.
Yeah.
Maybe not. I don't know. I'm terrible at this. I'm not good with the fruits. I'm not good with the white fruits. I'm much better with the reds. That's because I don't drink enough white.
Yeah. Catherine, do you get any green fruit?
No green fruit
Yeah.
for me.
Yeah, I don't get a whole lot of green fruit on this thing. Any citrus?
Yeah.
Yeah. I get some
Definitely a
citrus.
little.
Lemon.
Yeah.
Mm.
I get also a little bit of like orange peel here.
I was going
A
to
little
say
Yeah,
something
orangey.
orangey.
Yeah, something
like
orangey.
Tangerine.
Yeah, exactly. Like mandarin, tangerine, kind of
Yeah.
those small citrus things. Definitely get some of that. Any stone fruit?
No, I don't think so. I don't know. I don't
Me neither.
eat these fruits.
Me neither. Any tropical?
No tropical for me.
No tropical either. Yeah, me neither. Any red fruit? And black fruit?
Yeah, a
Yeah.
little bit.
Yeah. Call it out. What do you got?
Raspberry,
Yep. Ton of raspberry.
Strawberry.
a little cherry even.
Yep. Tart cherry again, for sure. Anything
And
else?
it's the ripe, not the cooked.
Yeah. I also get a little bit of strawberry here, but not like the market strawberry. Like, have you guys ever had like those wild strawberries that sometimes come out in farmers market? They're like much smaller. They look like little balls.
Yeah.
They have a different kind of a strawberry vibe. I mean, it's strawberry, but it's different. I guess some of that like kind of wild strawberry. It also has a little bit of like, I mean, we can talk about it later when we get to herbaceous, but like wild strawberries always have a little bit of that like a vegetable green kind of savory tinge to it. And then I get a little bit of that here as well. But yeah, definitely a lot of red fruit. Not a lot of, do you get any black fruit?
No, not really.
Yeah, me neither. To me, this is pretty much all red fruit, citrus, floral, very pretty. And then you mentioned the nature of the fruit being really ripe.
Yeah, ripe, not cooked.
Yeah, agreed. Like this is like peak ripeness. To me, like this is what I would imagine like a beginning of summer, end of spring, when the strawberries start coming into the market, like when you're walking into that that market and smelling the first season of the strawberries, and then it's like super ripe and fresh. Like to me, is what it reminds me of. But yeah, perfectly ripe, really fresh, nothing cooked, nothing overripe, nothing underripe. Just, I mean, again, this speaks to a volume about their impeccable farming, as well as that place. I mean, just so much sunlight, the ripeness is not the problem or the challenge. Any herbaceous, any herbal? Any non-fruit flower
There's
things?
something. I don't, yeah, something. It's like it's not super it's not super strong for me, but there's definitely something. It's like the floral.
Yeah.
There's something in there, but I can't really identify it.
Right. Like to me, it's like that the white part of strawberry, you know, like if you ever eat like the white part of strawberry, it has that little bit of like a vegetable kind of a thing. It's not like super green per se, but like it's got a little bit of that vegetable unripe fruit thing. To me, it's more of that, like white watermelon wine, you know, white part of the strawberry, like that kind of a green, not necessarily like fresh cut grass or like anything like that. Tomato
Right.
leaf or anything like that.
Yeah.
Any spice, any minerality?
No, I don't get any spice.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, no spice, really clean, really pure, just like straightforward. Do you get any minerality on this thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I'm. Yeah, I guess I'm
Yeah.
like stoniness here, like a whetstone. Yeah, just like a
Definitely
freshly,
whetstone.
yeah, freshly like rained on stones. Like yeah, there's.
Yeah, I
quite
was
a
just
bit of
gonna say it's
minerality.
like after the rain. That's what it
Yeah,
smells like.
exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
Any secondary, any tertiary?
No.
No.
Nope. Yep. This is, I mean, very fresh, very primary driven one. Excellent. Good job. You get to pick the final person for the palette. It's got to be one of the Dons.
Right. You guys want to duke it
Whichever
out?
one wants to do it. Tag team.
You guys could do it together.
I have a cold. You do it, Liz.
Okay, I'm out of practice, so you guys have to be patient with me. But yes, I felt like all of the anyway, we'll get there. Okay, condition. Yeah, I'd say this is a dry wine.
Yeah, a lot of fruit, but no sugar. This is bone dry. Acidity?
It's pretty acidic.
Yeah,
I'd say medium plus.
yeah. I'm gonna call this medium plus as well. It's
It's
got
delicious.
searing acidity of this thing. I mean, this is
Mhm.
why I picked this one. It's just like we're talking about Primitivo, which is Zinfandel. You know,
Yeah.
we're talking about a very big, you know, capable of producing really big, high octane wine. And for it to come out this mineral driven, this fresh, this like, you know, just with this much acid and balance and restraint on it, it's fantastic. Again, it speaks volume about the place it's in, all that limestone, high up in elevation compared to the rest of Puglia. But yeah,
Yeah.
definitely medium plus acidity.
Totally.
Do you get any
Tannin,
tannin?
there is some. Like I think there's some, but not a lot. I'd say low.
Yeah. I do get a little bit of like a grip on this thing, but yeah, I'll call this low. I mean, it's just like I do see what you mean though. There's a little bit of extraction. Yeah, for sure.
And then
Alcohol.
for alcohol, you know, it's interesting. Like when I first started drinking it, I could really taste it.
Mhm.
That's going away a bit now, but so I'd say I don't know, like medium. My
Yeah.
guess is like 13.
That's what I was gonna guess. About 13, 13.5 maybe. Yeah, 13.5. So yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know,
yeah,
medium, higher end of medium, but definitely medium territory.
yeah.
Body.
I'd say medium plus.
It's got some weight,
There's
right?
some, yeah.
I would definitely call this like a bordering on medium plus. I may go to medium plus. My wine is quite cold, so I'm gonna stick with the medium right now. But
Medium.
it's
Okay, I'm fair. That's fair. That's a totally fair.
but definitely high end of medium, low end of medium plus. I guess what I'm trying to say is there's definitely some weight here.
Right.
And that's a function of both things, Zinfandel just being, big grape, has a lot of phenolics, has a lot of high sugar to begin with, even though this is 13.5, pulled back, very restrained, balanced, but nonetheless, it's just a big grape. On top of that, that just kind of a longer extraction, again, taking all the anthocyanin and all the polyphenolic compounds out of the wine, even just in 4 hours that you're able to get this much color and all of that, that all helps with the building of the body. So this is not a light-bodied wine. This is a full-bodied rosé.
Yeah.
But that's what I love about this wine is that like oftentimes we want to get rosés from warm climate, which is what Puglia is. Other warm climate rosés, think about Provence, think about Côte de Rhône, think about Rhône and like, all the Mediterranean coast, middle of Spain as well. A lot of these rosés are just so blasé. They're big and powerful. They got the body and the extraction. They just lack acid. They have the fruit because, the fruit ripens very well there, but they don't have the acid, they don't have the balance, they don't have the freshness. But this wine is different. Like this wine has everything that I love about these kind of Mediterranean warm climate fruit, but it has that acid, it has a minerality, and that's what makes this wine so delicious, in my opinion. All right, so Moose, we don't have to talk about flavor intensity.
I was gonna say, I mean, I can still taste it, and I haven't had a sip in a bit, so it's pretty intense. I'd say medium plus flavor intensity.
100%. It is not shy.
Yeah. And then I felt like the calls that Catherine and Kirsten made on the flowers were pretty good. I also was not in the white flower category. I thought somebody said violet, and I was like something like that. Like really, I heard that. I agreed with mostly everything else, but I'm interested to sort of talk through this because I smell rock, but I don't taste rock as much.
Okay.
And I'm sort of curious, like if that's just me being out of practice trying to taste rocks, but that was for me the more interesting thing because I smell saltiness, and I smell rocks, but I don't taste them. I'm more on that fruit, that weird strawberry you were describing. So curious.
So for the minerality on this wine, there are two things I would say. One, I think you're dead on. I get that brightness. I get salt on this thing, which is really nice. It's like such a chefy touch, right? Like when you serve really ripe, fresh fruit with a little like salt sprinkle on top. It's like watermelon salt on top. It's like that. It's like you got this like beautiful ripe red fruit, and then there's like a sprinkle of salt on top, which is awesome.
Well, is it ripe or tarty? Like I think we were talking about that little strawberry, right? Like it's tart or no?
It's both. I mean, I get both the really
tart and salt.
Yeah, it's like tart, but also really ripe and sweet, and then and then salt, and like it's got everything. But to me, the minerality exactly comes in that either brine as well as also. Again, I know this is hard. I've been saying this since the beginning of Wine Club, and I don't know, people are finally starting to kind of experience this themselves. But to me, limestone wines have this kind of like a very angular tension about them. And this wine being so, like you mentioned, like bigger, fuller body, so much fruit, medium plus intensity of these really ripe, sweet, tart fruit and everything on there. Maybe some of that kind of gets kind of lost, but I can still feel it there. Like there's this kind of cut tension. I always feel it almost like on the side of my mouth, the back, but there's a little bit of tension. And then there's also a little textural reason. Like it's almost that little bit of like similar thing as champagne, that like chalky, kind of like dusty, kind of like a texture on the wine. Despite it being like, really big and voluptuous as well. So that's how I'm experiencing the minerality on this one. It's not necessarily like the rock flavor. The whetstone I definitely do get on the nose, but on the palate it's more of like that salt, and then like that textural thing. and then the tension, the levels of tension.
That's great. That's so helpful. It's so fun.
Okay. Any secondary, any tertiary?
No, no.
All primary. Finally, the length.
Say what again? What am I doing now? I'm so out of practice on the screen, guy.
Okay. The finish, the length.
Oh, the short. Oh, yeah. Oh, the length.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. What was the other one then that I did? Flavor intensity. Oh, I think I was talking about length when I was talking about flavor intensity. Okay. So, but it's very long.
Do you wanna change your flavor intensity call?
No.
No.
No, I'd say medium plus as well, but
Yeah,
I'm realizing now that I was talking about the wrong thing. Okay. So both medium plus in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. It's got the blend. All the flavors stick around. I get the kind of salty. I actually do get some of that, like the stony minerality, actual mineral stoniness after the fruit's kind of like a.
And I think as it warms up, also some of that mineral is coming out more. Like when I first opened it and it was cold, it was very fruity, you know. But now you can sort of like get into the crunchiness of it.
For sure, for sure. All right, take it on for us. How good is this wine? And would you?
Well, we did a lot of medium pluses. But.
So
yeah, I think this is a very good wine. So what did we say? We said the color was medium and medium plus. We said that the smell was was intense, like from the distance. Why? Sorry, I've like lost all my vocabulary.
No, here I'll lead you through it. Is this wine balanced?
Balanced, yes.
Yeah. Intensity. What do we call on the nose? What do we call on the palate?
Medium plus, medium plus.
Yeah, medium plus, medium plus. Complexity. What would you call that?
Medium.
Yeah, I mean, we don't have any
because it doesn't have any secondary or tertiary.
Yeah, exactly. All primary. But within primary, we called out a few things, right? We're like calling out flower,
herbaceousness, and
little
minerality.
herbaceousness, little vegetable, savory, but different flowers, different fruit, different citrus, and the minerality, saltiness. So quite a few things. So I put that squarely on medium, and then the length we called it
medium plus.
Medium plus. So when you kind of look through all of that, we got
medium plus. Yeah, it's a very good
plus
wine.
Intensity, medium complexity, medium plus length. We're landing on medium plus, so this is a very good wine.
Yeah, it's a very good wine.
Would you age it?
No, I think this is like can drink now, has a potential for it, but not much. I wouldn't do much. Like this is a fresh wine.
Yeah, I just don't think. I think this wine has it's got the intensity. It's got the acid, medium plus acid backbone. So I don't think it's going to fall apart anytime soon.
Yeah,
but I think the beauty of this wine, what makes this so delicious, is its freshness, all that fruit and all that purity of that fruit plus the land that you're tasting. So I would say drink this over next night. I don't think it's going to fall apart.
2 to 3.
2 to 3, exactly. But drink it.
That's what I thought.
And enjoy it because it's drinking beautifully right now, and that's my call. Any disagreements? Any questions? Excellent. Did you guys like this one?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did anybody not like this one? Okay. I thought it was going to be maybe a little too much fruit for some people, but
really,
I mean, don't get me wrong. I love this one, but I don't know. For some people, they're like, "Oh, this is too sweet." I'm like, you mean a lot of fruit, not sweet, because it's bowl dry.
Yeah, I think I liked it better as it got warmer.
Yeah, it's got so much fruit. It's got so much juiciness, but again, it's got that acid. It's refreshing. It's fresh. It's balanced. Oh, delicious, delicious stuff. All right, let's play everyone's favorite game. How much do you think this wine is on a retail shelf? How much would you be happy to pay for this on a retail shelf? Think about it. This Puglia, usually rather affordable region, but we called it very good. Very small producer, only 5 hectares. So how much do you think this is? Or how much would you be happy paying for this? 24, 24, 28. And Catherine and Kirsten. 28, 25, 23, 25. All right, it's all kind of right in there. This on a retail shelf would be $26. So I think it's exactly what it's supposed to be. I'll be happy paying $26. And if I got this bottle at $26, I think I'd be happy with that. I think this is exactly what it's priced at.
Post tariff, right?
Tariffs, exactly. I mean, you say that, but this used to be $22 before tariffs. Yeah. So. Yep. Yeah, last year this was only $2.
Pretty high alcohol for a rosé, though, right? At 13.5.
35. I mean, depending on where it comes from, right? Like, I mean, if you ever had, if you had a rosé Zinfandel from California, we're talking about white Zinfandel. So those things are actually pretty low in alcohol. But like a Cote d'Ivoire rosé can get up there. Can get up to 13.5, 14. It's definitely a warm climate rosé for sure. But again, it's able. This is what I mean by that sense of place. Like it can only have this much acid and freshness because it's growing that part of Puglia. If it was growing outside of that area, this would be even bigger with no acid, and it would just be kind of blasé, big, full of fruit, but no acid, kind of a rosé.
Question kind of related to that. So if they're making a, Primitivo from the same vineyard, are they like harvesting this earlier to get that high acid, or is it just the same
I would
batch?
think so.
Just
So
use
yeah,
water?
I would think so. I think they are picking probably the younger vineyard or younger vines, younger rows for this, picking the older vines for their red bottle. Because I said this in email as well, but oftentimes whenever you go anywhere in the world that makes a lot of red wine, you're often going to find rosé because it's a byproduct of red wine making, because they bleed that shit off just to concentrate the color in the red wine. And then it's a Saignée method. And I'm not saying Saignée method is a bad way to make rosés, but oftentimes it's an afterthought. That's not the actual product you're trying to make. It's just a byproduct. Instead of throwing that juice away, you might as well ferment it and sell it off as like a cheap rosé, right? Because what you're really trying to make is a red wine. So I thought when I saw this rosé or this Terrace Roland, I thought it was going to be that. This is just like, they're making Primitivo. They probably bled this shit off and then just made rosé and sold it off. But when I learned that this is actually maceration method, meaning they're picking grapes just to make this rosé. They're not trying to make red, and they picked it just to make this rosé. Which one tells me that they actually had this wine intentionally in their mind and they're trying to make it. And then two, there rows and vineyards dedicated to making this wine as opposed to just nilly-willy picking stuff. So my guess would be that these are younger vines, would be my guess. And to your question, Joe, yes, they will get picked earlier than the red wine making grapes for rosés, for sure. For sure. Any other questions? It's just so delicious. It's like so easy to drink. It just like goes down so easy.
Yeah, it's not exactly rosé season, but it's still. That's actually my ability. I'm like, it's not rosé season. It's a little hard to appreciate it, but
it's a big rosé. Let it warm up a little bit and drink it as a light red.
Yeah.
Very like.
Well, I'll say, I did mine with sardines because I was like, what can I do?
Yeah.
And it wasn't that great. I mean, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't that great. Like it didn't make this guy sing. I'm enjoying it way more since I finished eating, which is sort of a shame because I feel like this is a really good wine because of all that saltiness. Like if you could figure out what to make, like work with all that. I feel like maybe
Did
I
that-
feel like
did
I mean,
that-
I was eating all sorts of weird things like artichokes and eggplants too. So like,
Yeah.
so I was just not letting this guy have his
Yeah.
moment. But
Did the sardines make the wine taste what? Like too much fruit?
tinny.
Tinny. Okay. Got it. All right. So it's actually muting out all the actual flavor. So you're just getting the metallic, like the actual structural part of the wine.
Yeah, sadly. So I'm like enjoying this way more now. I'm glad that I got to do the taste
Got it.
after my pairing.
Okay. Cool. Any other questions? All right. Well, hearing none, let's stop the recording.